Hey folks, it's Jordan with Status Coup. Hope you're doing well. I have seen a lot of things on cable news, but for the first time, we might have actually seen journalists make love to a politician live on cable news. Morning Joe, I watch so you do not have to. I don't watch the whole thing, by the way. I watch what I can stomach. Morning Joe had a long montage yesterday, a long ode, long love sonnet to Joe Biden that truly made state TV in Russia and China look like actual journalism. I'm going to start and stop here, but let's begin this. Again, Morning Joe on just why all of you need to immediately support Joe Biden.
He knows the worry, the concern, the grief, the heartache, and the successes that ordinary people have because he's had all of it, and he still does. What happened? As Mitch Landrieu said the other day, what happened after his wife and daughter were killed? He wore the cloak of grief, still wears it, but he went to work. What happened when he realized and was told and was confronted with the fact that his only surviving son, Hunter Biden, was an addict? Most families in this country know what it's like to have someone in the family who's an addict and who's addicted to something, no matter what the addiction is. They know what that's like. And what do? Do they quit? Do they complain? No, most of them, like Joe Biden, get up and they go to work. That's what he does every single day. Yeah. And his work is the presidency. But he is at heart an ordinary citizen. He is at heart one of us. And he.
So there's more. Buckle up. Obviously, it goes without saying, nobody is minimizing the personal loss Joe Biden has had, lost his first wife, daughter in tragic car accident, lost his adult son to brain cancer. That's terrible. However, that doesn't make someone a one of us, so to speak, and it shouldn't be weaponized indefinitely in perpetuity so that he gets a pass for being a corrupt son of a gun. It should not be weaponized and to distract us to the fact that he has done the bidding for Wall Street, the fossil fuckers, big pharma, big real estate, Silicon Valley, and the military-industrial complex, and Israel for the last 40, 50 years. I'm sorry you had personal loss, but spare me this love letter, this making love session to Joe Biden from Morning Joe on why he is just one of us. If that wasn't nauseating enough, there's more.
They don't make that strong enough on his behalf, I don't think.
Well, and you are so right. It's so moving that he carries a picture of his young daughter who was killed in a car accident so long ago. And when he's going around showing you pictures in his office, he will point to Bo, and yes, he will still tear up and he'll say, he should have been here. He should have been president, not me. And he continues that fight, not only for his deceased son, the memory of his deceased daughter, his mom, his father, that stay with him wherever he goes, those working class roots. Anybody that's been around Joe Biden for 5 minutes knows this to be the case. Lindsey Graham, you know, you can find that video of Lindsey Graham tearing up, saying anybody that says anything bad about Joe Biden doesn't know Joe Biden. And of course, we won't go there about Lindsey. But you talked about.
So let me get this straight. And again, terrible loss he's had in his life. Feel for him. But him carrying around a picture of his deceased daughter means he's a lunch bucket union guy, means he gets us, means he cares about the worker bees, and is so passionate about the struggle of what's left of the middle class. Well, if that's the case, why, when President Manchin 2024, Vice President parliamentarian, why, when President Manchin and Vice President Sinema were blocking the extension of the child tax credit, Biden put the child tax credit, which actually helped a lot of people, I give him credit, in the first COVID Relief Act or the second COVID Relief Act, but he set it for a year, only a year, and then allowed it to expire without even putting up a fight. That did put food in the bellies of children and poor families. That did put money in the wallets of struggling families, particularly low income, single mothers. It did cut poverty, I don't believe, in half, like you saw with the headlines, but significantly. But we didn't see Joe Biden, empathetic Joe, this healer in chief. We didn't see him standing up at a press conference, crying for the babies and the children who will have food ripped out of their hands and mouths. We didn't see him using the bully pulpit of the presidency to go after Manchin and Sinema for taking that money, that food out of the mouths of hungry children. Did you? I didn't. So spare me that because he's had personal loss and is very good with his salesman shtick of being a lunch bucket worker bee, a man who is on the ground with the people, with the worker bees. Spare me that that's actually transfers over to him fighting for you. And I don't want to hear that he had a 50-50 Senate. I don't want to hear that he did what he could. There's something called the bully pulpit of the presidency. You get points for fighting. Even if you lose, you get points for fighting and trying. He could have fought Manchin. He could have fought Sinema. But instead, he's tried to push, bipartisanship. Let's go back to the good old days of Democrats and Republicans working together to screw you rather than screwing you on their own. But it gets worse.
The economy. And you talked about people worrying about where things are. This is the perversion. This is the perversion of these networks that twist and contort the reality if their guy or woman's not in office. We have an economy that's stronger than ever. I've said it before, but one of the most conservative columnists, Gerard Baker, said the U.S. economy was the big winner in 2023. You have a military that's stronger than ever. Relative to the rest of the world, stronger than any time since 1945. Anybody who understands military strength and power will tell you that. And for all of its failings, and elite colleges have a hell of a lot of failings, for all of its failings, our educational system, our colleges and universities, still the best in the world. People send their children to America from all over the world because our educational system, with all of its failings, the best in the world. Guess what? Another really conservative Wall Street Journal writer said that last week in a column. Why? Because it's true. So I don't understand these networks that trash America. I don't understand politicians like Donald Trump who trash America. I don't understand people who hate America when America's economy is stronger than it's been in a long, long time. Our military is stronger than it's been in generations. And yes, our educational system, with all of its failings, with elite universities, still the best in the world. And there's not a close second, not a close second in any of these areas. So if people are out there preaching hate, talking about how America is weak, they are lying to you. They are lying through their teeth, and they're doing it for their own reasons. America is strong, America is powerful, and America is great.
And America has a choice.
And now America has a choice on whether they want to give up the greatest.
Stop hating America. Love Joe Biden. The possibly the best part of that, or most cringy part of it, is his wife, Mrs. Scarborough, Mika, just sitting there as he's making love, technically cheating on her, to President Biden. And she's just sitting there like, yes, Joe, you're so right. Oh, my God. And I say this as someone who does not want to see Donald Trump reelected. I say this as somebody who does not minimize the threat of Donald Trump. He is a threat. I disagree with leftists who minimize the threat of Donald Trump or minimize January 6th and say, oh, it was just a little riot that got out of control. No, it was an insurrection or attempted insurrection. But the fact of the matter is, this is a level of propaganda that makes what Russia does or China does and this state-run TV look like actual journalism. And sure, you could say, well, Jordan, they're not technically journalists. They are commentators. Well, they got 4 hours a day from 6 to 10, I believe, in the morning on MSNBC. Their clips get picked up by other outlets. Their network, CNN, maybe to a lesser degree, basically are toeing this line. CNN more subtly, less overtly making love to Biden. Same with the New York Times. But I mean, it's just one lie and propaganda bomb after the next from these people. We have an economy that's stronger than ever, says Joe Scarborough, who's, let's see, let me just look it up real quick. Joe Scarborough, net worth, 25 million. Shocking. So the guy worth $25 million says we have an economy that's stronger than ever. Well, tell me for who, Joe? You? People that go on your boat? I'm assuming you have one. Or yacht? I'm assuming you have one over the summer. I think they live in Florida, but have a place in New York too. Is it stronger than ever for the 65% of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck? Is it stronger than ever for the large swath of Americans who are having to choose between groceries or medicine, the utility bill or other bills? Is it stronger than ever for Americans who are working 2 jobs, 3 jobs? Is it stronger than ever for the Americans who are choosing, I can't afford healthcare, so I'm just going to roll the dice, hope I don't get sick? Is it stronger than ever for the gig workers who are getting screwed by Uber, Lyft, who are getting screwed working full-time jobs, but being treated as freelancers and getting paid as freelancers without benefits? It's definitely stronger than ever for the 1%, 5%, 10%, the top 10%. But he says our military is stronger than ever. Yes, in bombing the hell out of the world, committing atrocities and genocide around the world, continuing to supply weapons, deadly weapons to other countries. Stronger than ever, absolutely. Not at actually protecting America, because Americans are sitting ducks, whether it's getting shot and killed in your schools, your malls, your concerts, grocery store. There is no national security. Just walking out into your daily lives, you could get shot and killed by a bazooka gun in America, and nothing's being done. Sure, Democrats have attempted, but that's kind of a hollow point for all the parents who have lost loved ones and children in America's schools. Is there any national security or national defense to the climate inferno that Joe Biden has helped pour gasoline on by doubling drilling on public lands, which he ran on, blocking drilling on public lands? Please. When Joe Scarborough says, oh, stop trashing America, stop hating America, you could just reverse this to 21 years ago. Same shit was being said on MSNBC, Fox News about people who are against the Iraq war. Stop trashing America. Stop hating America. It's not hating America to be critical of Joe Biden. It's loving what America could be by saying enough with this corporatism being masked as democracy. Enough of this oligarchy being masked as working class. Enough of this corruption and these bought off ghouls like Joe Biden, it being fed to us that this is your only choice. It's not our only choice. And enough of this propaganda from media when they should be covering real things like the poisoning of American citizens in Flint and East Palestine, Ohio, and Jackson, Mississippi, and the actual hunger on the ground of children and the elderly and working class people, the worker exploitation, the union busting, the climate inferno, the homelessness going up 12% in 2023. They could be covering real things. Instead, they are making sweet, sweet love to Joe Biden on your television screens. And I, for one, am disgusted by it.